I want to talk about reclaiming the line. So the Reclaim the Line campaign, which I believe is the way to reclaim the Australian spirit. And for those that don't know, Reclaiming the Line is really about us stepping into our empowerment, into our speaking our truth, standing in our truth. And all those inches they're trying to take away from us, whether it's not stepping outside of your LGA or the no jab, no job, all these mandates, all these rules, that these are the lines that they're putting in front of us and that we're reclaiming as our own freedoms and our own ability to choose what goes into our bodies and what jobs we do or do not do. And I'd love to talk into, the fact that you spoke at a rally on Friday, and I was there. There was around 2,000 people present on the Queensland-New South Wales border. A big metaphor for reclaiming the line, because of so many families that cannot see each other and friends. And it was a strike. It was a strike on a Friday, and you touched and you uplifted everyone on that patch of grass. I mean, I was crying. It was absolutely beautiful. And I want to ask you what you believe was a powerful moment for you, but also what was a tangible call to action from this campaign, and do you believe we can turn the tide? You were there, you felt it, and I want to hear your experience of that rally.
It was, without a doubt, one of the most humbling experiences of my life. I mean, you were there at the beginning when I was at the back of the crowd, and I could see the proceedings were about to start, and I started walking through the crowd. There started a standing ovation. It went for about 2 or 3 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I was looking around to see if Mel Gibson had walked in or something. I just couldn't believe it, and I was getting patted on the back. And when I took the microphone and turned and faced the crowd, and I saw their faces, I could see their spirit, and I could see their heart, and I could see their pain. And it was, boy. It was tough, but it was so beautiful as well, And I looked around at the police, and I had some trepidation. I saw, a pretty large number of police, and I looked at them, and they looked calm. And their commanding officers were standing nearby, and I looked at them, and they were watching like fathers, like dads. They looked calm, and I started to see that the police weren't there to disrupt. The police were there to protect everybody. And there was a moment there where I was talking about the new police union that's forming, that has formed, and it's going to get much bigger, apparently. It's for all workers in Victoria who now need to join it. I'm going to make a video today and put out a plea for them. It's called policeforfreedom.org. And anybody can go to that, and they need to go to that because they're about to do amazing things. No matter what sort of job you've got in Victoria, they're there for you. And that's a great sign for the police in our country, because the Victoria Police's reputation is almost destroyed. But the fact that there are a bunch of people out there fighting to get that back in Victoria is really heartening. But when I mentioned that at the rally, there was a little blast of a siren in the background, and there were people cheering the police, not jeering at them, cheering for them. And I looked across at the commanding officer, I think he was, of the Northern Rivers area, and he seemed to pull his mask down so people could see him smiling, and he waved in acknowledgement. And from that moment on, the spirit started to lift. And when I looked at the backs of the shirts, and you looked at the experience, teachers and nurses and doctors and paramedics and aircrew and aged care workers and all of that, with decades of experience, and they're all going to be lost, but they're all there in spirit. And so I could see that, and I tried to talk into that with them by talking about the Anzacs and what they went through, and then I sort of cracked into a very croaky song because my voice is struggling a bit these days, and the joy and the passion. And afterwards, the people who came up to me and said, "You're not going to believe this, but I've had both jabs, and I'm here because I believe what you're doing. I believe we can make decisions to suit our own choices, and we can still be Australia." And man, that was uplifting. So many people were there. This wasn't a medical thing. It really irked me when it was it was an anti-vax demonstration in the media. It wasn't anti-vax, it was pro-choice. It was pro-choice, and it's about standing up for the freedoms and rights that we have we still have in our hands. It's slipping through our fingers. But our dads and granddads, they went away, they risked their whole life so we wouldn't have to have these conversations. And I looked at families and kids on the shoulders of their parents, and I saw police officers patting people on the back, and it was awesome. You know, that's the spirit of Australia. And many of my Victoria police mates, I've got a lot of them now. I love the Victoria police. The guys who are really struggling with what's happening. They've got a real heart. Those people, men and women, they're beautiful. And some of the stories they've told me I can't tell you, but they're reaching out to their community. They're not writing tickets. They're talking to their people. You know? Anyhow, when some of those videos from the rally got to those guys in the police force, I did a Zoom that night with 200 of them, and some of them were in tears. Like, we used to have that, and we've lost it, you know. And kudos to the New South Wales and Queensland Police. Absolutely. It was done respectfully. There was no violence. There was no drama, and it dissipated peacefully, and people felt better, and people felt alive. And the people that walked away, Renate, you saw them. They were all looking up. They weren't looking at the ground. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I think Reclaim the Line is a great movement. And I acknowledge you and the other people who are setting it up. And I'm happy to support that any way I can. And, you know, more power to it, because it's not about medical decisions. It's about our spirit. And too many people have lost that. I got criticised by somebody on Facebook. They said, "You're risking my life. Freedom comes with responsibility." And I thought, when you don't have a spirit, you don't have a life. But I also thought, well, you've obviously been vaccinated, so how am I risking your life? If you've been vaccinated and I'm risking your life, why did you get vaccinated? What's the difference? So there's answers for everything, but we've just got to remember that this is not about people's medical decisions. Sure, it's the catalyst that brings us all together, but this is about reclaiming our nation. Not in a violent, you know, super political way, but getting the spirit back and reclaim the line. That's what that's about. That's, you know, hang on, we've just been forced back by the enemy. They're not getting away with that. We're going to go back and we're going to get back to where we were. And there's a massive job in this country post-COVID, and it's about rebuilding our spirit. And I see you involved in that, and I see me involved in that, and all the other people that are really getting behind this movement. It's not a volatile political revolutionary movement in that sense of the word. We're not looking for guillotines, and we're not looking for Molotov cocktails. We're looking for people's hearts. And that's the most powerful weapon we've got.